Welcome. Hi, my name's Amanda. I'm a cruise ship employment specialist. I worked on cruise ships for 10 years and then went into cruise ship employment and recruitment services. And now I operate getalifeatsea.com, where I help people get paid to travel the world. And today's topic is all about dating on a cruise ship as a crew member. So let's get started. Number one thing that you guys need to know is relations between crew members and passengers are a big no-no. All major cruise lines have very strict regulations when it comes to rules associated with dating passengers. It's completely not allowed. And so I would definitely say don't do that ever. And if you do so at your own risk. But I definitely would say no. The second thing you need to remember as a crew member when you get on board is it's about a 30 to 40 to 1 ratio men to women. So there's a lot more men that work on board than there are women. Generally, that's because there are a lot more men in departments like deck and tech, which is engine room and bridge, and it is just male heavy usually. When you get into the front of house, then you get a little bit more females on board in those positions, but generally speaking, it's about a 30 to 40 ratio men to women. So ladies, you'll have quite a bit of choice, but some tips for the ladies especially to remember, and guys too, it's good for you to know this. Questions to ask men who may be throwing some pickup lines to your way when you're on board as a female. So first question to ask as a female that maybe you're getting picked up by a male crew member is, are you married? This is an important question to ask because many crew members are on board for about 6 to 10 months in duration, and some of them are married and then their partners are at home. So this is an important question to ask because they may not have a ring on their finger and you may not know. So it's an important question to ask, and be careful as well as to how they answer because, and I've heard this one, when I ask this question of a male crew member, as you may hear things like, oh yeah, I'm married, but it's an open marriage. Yeah, run away fast as possible. Number 2 question to ask is, do you have a girlfriend on board? I know that sounds really, really like a silly question, but you'd be surprised as to how many people try to have multiple relationships on board. It's interesting because usually on a cruise ship, you're going to have about 800 to like 1,500 crew on board. It is like a small town. News travels fast, so you want to make sure that a prospective partner doesn't already have a partner on board. And then you also want to ask if how long that person's been on board for. So let's say you've just signed on the ship and it's like your first couple of weeks, and then somebody approaches you and they seem interesting. You want to ask how long they've been on board, because if they've been on board for quite a few months, they may have potentially quite a few ex-girlfriends or partners on board. So you want to know about those people as well, because especially if their ex-partner works in your department, that may make things a little bit uncomfortable. So you want to make sure that you ask if they have any ex-girlfriend, boyfriends on board. And then a huge recommendation, this is for everybody as a new crew member on board, male, female. Number 1, huge recommendation for everyone is I recommend don't date anyone on board for at least the first 2 to 3 weeks of your contract, because this will enable you to get the lay of the land, excuse the pun, and get the lowdown on, prospective partners, right? You're going to hear things, you're going to see things, you might notice that they already have a partner on board. So just don't date anybody is my big recommendation for about the first 2 or 3 weeks-ish, because then you'll get a good sort of idea of who's with who and who was with who and that whole thing. All right. So hopefully this information was helpful for you. If you haven't already taken the free Are You Ready for Life at Sea quiz, which will tell you in 30 seconds or less if working on a cruise ship is for you, You can do that at getalifeatsea.com/cruise ship quiz. Also, be sure to check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel where there's tons of additional cruise ship employment tips and information there. You can follow me on Periscope, of course. If you don't already, make sure you click on the little Periscope guy right there. And check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm everywhere just under Get a Life at Sea. So thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you next time.